We have a great counselor for college and career readiness. We also have Ms. Greca that's there to support any students that are in need of like emotional support. We have all of our staff is pretty helpful.
Better student and teacher relationships, as well as better opportunities for colleges.
Well, there's many types of services. There's sports, there's sports clubs, and there's other different types of clubs, and then there's lunch is free, which is nice for some families who can't afford it. And then there's also tutoring and different things. We have immigration clubs for people who want to help immigration and all different things for different needs and wants.
I feel like one of the most important resources we have here is the teachers. All my 3 years, I've had so many problems that have interfered with school, and I've even had problems recently, and it's just the community here of people who are willing to work with you and people who are willing to care for you because they do care is so much different than you'll find at any other school.
Effective leadership would be being able to lead everybody clearly and also getting work done, because it's different if you're just leading and you're also not getting others to understand it as well.
I feel like that's one of those things where it's there's no use in being a leader if you can't do it efficiently or do it right. Anyone can be a leader and boss people around and get nothing done, but if you're a leader and you're making sure things are getting done, you're communicating with people, then I feel like that's where the effective leadership comes in.
Effective leadership is when you're doing something not just for yourself, but for the benefit of others.
So Principle 1 is all about effective leadership. And when we think of leaders, you might think of the typical school leader, like principal or assistant principals, but really effective leadership is also about bringing in other people and making other people leaders. So whether that is teacher leaders who are helping by leading different groups and teams and PLCs on campus, to student leaders, to other support staff who are leading different initiatives to all move toward our common goal. And in our case, our common goal is increasing our reading and our math college readiness. And so we have lots of strategies, and effective leadership would be about getting people who want to be leaders the professional development, training, support, materials and resources that they need, and also time, and then making sure that they have the time that they need to focus on what needs to be done and how to go about making a difference in that.
One of the things that we are doing is collecting Lexile scores, in which we can make a judgment about where students are within their reading levels for a variety of texts. And then as various content area teachers, we're collaborating with one another. We're also collaborating vertically within the humanities departments to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our students for areas of reading and writing. We are also trying to provide a variety of experiences for our students in which they're being challenged at their current levels to exceed and grow in both math and reading. We're giving them a variety of collaborative experiences so that they can learn from one another. And then just regularly making sure that we're in touch with where our students are and changing our instruction based on their needs.
I think reading comes into play in the mathematics classroom as well. So we try to improve all of those skills in the mathematics classroom, because problem solving requires reading through the problem. But we also look at math as a language, and so reading the mathematics and becoming legible in the mathematics is one of the things we concentrate on. So we try to accommodate the needs of each individual, because all of our students are at different points in their journey mathematically, and so we try to treat those differences as the norm. That's just going to happen, and that it's okay to be where you are in that journey and find ways to help you stay on that path and keep improving and always getting better. Also developing that growth mindset idea that if you're always getting everything right, you're not really learning anything, right? So we want to continually, accept and be able to be happy and content with getting things wrong and struggling and realizing that that's when the real growth occurs, that it's okay to get stuff wrong, to stumble, to have a hard time with something, as long as we're continuously trying to take that next step up. Right? We try to provide that that extra push, those problems that take them above and beyond where they are.
They usually have meetings. I know they have meetings probably about prep stuff. I was recently up here last Wednesday, and I guess it was a little more informal, but probably just staff meetings.
From what I've heard, teachers meet to discuss what's been going on at school. Maybe there's something that, maybe there's like lesson plans that are not working, or maybe there's, they're like brainstorming better ways to help students.
So the teachers, they try to ensure that our learning is the best that it can be, and to see how they need to improve themselves, and they can help us.
Teachers are meeting, and they're trying to better the school for the students.
Well, I know that for support in math, there have always been learning labs available where you can go to your teacher if you have any difficulty understanding what was taught in the classroom. Some teachers are also willing to stay with the student a little bit after 3:30, just so that they can understand better the topic or lesson that was taught that day.
Well, when I have trouble, I always ask, Mr. Stevens, my math teacher, he's a freshman math teacher, and he always goes through step by step. If anybody has questions, they help. And then Mr. Anderson is the reading, writing teacher, and he'll go through different steps to help you. And then any of the teachers honestly will help you if you need help.
I think for reading, they're probably trying to find what we should be working on. For example, the articles that we're doing. And for math, probably seeing what we should focus on, the things that we're struggling most with.
I feel there's always learning lab, but I feel like having some of the labs sometimes and having different ways to work out math problems is a lot easier than just getting a textbook. Reading, the humanities is a very fun class. I love coming to humanities. So I feel on the humanities aspect, really just having real world things to talk about, and also just having this, I want to say this community where anytime you walk in the room, you know you're going to be happy, or you know you're going to have fun. Because every time I come in humanities, I know we're always laughing and messing around and stuff, all in good fun. But yeah, I think that's one of the things on the reading perspective where it's not just about the curriculum, it's more about the teachers who are always trying to improve the curriculum and make it fun.
Principle 2 is about effective teachers and instruction, and that's huge because that's kind of the meat of why we're here. We're here at school to learn, and so Principle 2 is all about making sure that teachers are well prepared and that they have time to plan and work together and collaborate, that they receive professional development and are able to grow professionally and learn more about the pedagogy of teaching and about their content. It is also going to be about our curriculum and our methods, and making sure that we have a curriculum that is rigorous and it's valuable, it's relevant to what students are going to need when they graduate, but also that it's taught in a way that makes students part of their learning and that gives them investment. So for instance, goal setting, self-reflection and self-evaluation, and our integration that we strive for is also going to be an effective instructional strategy, so that things aren't taught in isolation, they're taught together and provide a more holistic understanding of concepts, and allow students to apply what they've learned and their skills to real world problems and scenarios and projects. And then another way that we are focusing on teachers and instruction is by asking teachers to choose an area that they would like to grow in throughout the year, and that's their professional goal. And one of the things that we decided, because we are focusing on reading and math and helping students become more college ready in those areas, that teachers would each focus on either reading, like reading strategies in their content discipline, whether it's science or social studies, or English, and then or math. And so getting students more and more ready for that college level rigor in math. And so for their professional goals, which is part of their evaluation process, we all kind of aligned toward those IAP goals in that area as well.
So one of the ways that we're supporting increased scores on our CRTs in math is just ensuring that our curriculum is aligned to all the state standards that the district uses. We have a special focus on helping students use techniques for multiple choice question strategies, and just in general we have ways that we're helping students when we're doing our learning labs and our traveling advisories, enrichment projects. All that pulls together to help our students do well.
In the area of math, we are implementing various programs inside class, outside of class. One of the things we're using is the ALEX math system, where students work to give every student the opportunity they need to learn the skills they need to learn. And that's coupled with what we do in math class, which is our curriculum, which is not as skills-based, it's more context. As well, we have testing prep outside of class time. I believe it's Wednesday mornings. And there are other test prep things as well that some of those students initiated. So there's kind of a variety of ways that we can help students. With test scores, typically in-class instruction is aimed at just helping them to be proficient in math, but the ALEX is probably the biggest thing we do to make sure that they're getting really just the nitty-gritty skills they need mathematically to be successful, whether taking a test or just in future assignments.
To be the best rated, to provide the best education.
At Bioscience, in order to be a grade A school, I guess it's because of the way that we are. Like, we try our best, and the teachers help us do the best we can, and they help you go through like different ways to do well, so then you can do well, and then it shows in the school. So they teach us how to be organized, how to use a planner, how to manage your time well, so then we can get all our work done, and then we can get the best in our education.
Being a part of a community where you're not only learning inside of a classroom where your teacher is directly teaching you, it's more of taking what you learn inside of a classroom and applying it somewhere else.
Personally, I feel like A schools really still aren't the best schools though, because at the end of the day, grade is just a grade. There's so much more that could go behind it. I've gone to A schools and they still haven't been that well. And coming here, it's like, this is considered an A school, but I feel like we do more to, promote learning and stuff like that.
In the years of 2016 through 2017, Bioscience was chosen as a 21st century exemplar school. In order for Bioscience to have this title, they had to follow the following criteria. 1. Evidence of commitment to college, career, and life readiness. 2. Educational support systems and sustainable design. 3. Engaged learning approaches. 4. Equitable student access to 21st century learning. 5. Evidence of student acquisition of 21st century knowledge and skills. And finally, 6. Partnerships for sustainable success. It is without a doubt that Bioscience clearly earned this title.